Hi, my name is Anne Maloney, and I'm a senior psychology major and public health minor here at Carroll. I completed my academic internship during the spring of 2019 and chose to do my internship at Roots Rehab, which is a private practice pediatric occupational therapy clinic. I was drawn to occupational therapy, specifically an internship in the field, because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my career going into this. I've been always drawn to occupational therapy, and having the opportunity to work at a private practice was definitely something that I figured I should take advantage of. I was drawn to Roots Rehab because several other hospitals and doctors had recommended me and referred me to Charla, the main therapist there, and to send her an email saying and asking her if she had a position for an intern, which she luckily did. I never knew that I wanted to work in pediatrics until this internship. I originally wanted to work in geriatrics, but working with kids definitely gave me a new perspective on the healthcare field and gave me new energy. And if you've ever worked with kids before, you would know that kids definitely bring a new light into your own perspective of life. And I was lucky to be able to experience that. So in my internship, I would go for about 7 hours a week, which I think translates to about 2 credits. And I would go on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I would work with one of the 2 therapists employed at the clinic. During these sessions, we would work with kids that were diagnosed with either autism, physical disabilities, movement disorders, people with developmental milestone problems, fine motor skills, and emotional regulation skills. One of my favorite personal patients had cerebral palsy, and we made huge progress with her goals, and I will explain that later. But typically during the sessions, we would work on fine motor skills, memory and recall, and other emotional regulation issues that we would usually read books or work on the emotional regulation zones, and we would always be on our feet working with children, which I absolutely loved. So the patient that had cerebral palsy, we were just recently working with her about how to jump, and a few months ago she didn't know how to jump, and she still limps around with her brace on. But being able to even bend her knees and spring up in a fast motion is huge progress. And I believe that occupational therapy has definitely played a monumental role in her eventual recovery. We would typically start off every session with therapeutic brushing, which would just get the kid ready to engage in therapy. We would also sometimes do feeding therapy, which was a total new aspect of occupational therapy to me. Feeding therapy works on those mental blocks that some children have in their minds that create aversions to certain foods, and eventually the goal is to get them to widen the amount and range of different types of foods that they eat. One of the most valuable experiences that I had at Roots Rehab was being able to interact with the patients 2 days a week, patients of diverse backgrounds, kids with different disabilities. But being able to work with the children definitely just made me excited to come to work every day. Children definitely bring an energy and enthusiasm and a sense of humor most of the time to the sessions. I also got to learn about graduate school and how both of the therapists got to where they are, and this happened through when patients would cancel their sessions, which was unfortunate, but it happens, and we would have an extra hour time slot, which is usually the duration of each session, and I would just be able to learn about both of the therapists who are both experienced occupational therapy people, and I would just get the opportunity to work and learn about how they got to where they are. Both of their paths definitely inspired me to apply to graduate school sooner than I thought. One of the other valuable experiences that I still hold close to heart is being able to work in a professional environment and form close personal relationships and being able to communicate in a healthcare setting that I had never previously done before. One challenge I experienced was that I have yet to take my anatomy and physiology course credits yet, and anatomy and physiology is definitely vital to being a successful occupational therapist. I definitely recommend to people who are looking to complete an internship in this field to have some background in this field. When Charlotte would be working with a kid working on some muscles or bones, I would not know what she's talking about some of the time. And then that night I would go home and research about it and research different techniques and therapy methods that would help the kid and the therapy session. And when I would do research, I would just learn more and more about occupational therapy and learn how important it was. Although that was a bit of a block in my experience, I still had a very positive experience at Roots Rehab. Definitely experienced personal growth within my time as an intern. Being able to communicate in the healthcare setting is definitely different than you do every day with your friends and families. It's definitely a skill that you need to have when you're applying to grad school or you're looking to work it within the field. Being able to maintain professional relationships and be able to facilitate those links with other people is vital. If I were to have a piece of advice for anybody looking to become an intern within the field, it would definitely be to embrace the experience. All the positives and negatives. It's definitely so special that you have the opportunity to work with patients. I would also definitely recommend to try and form a close relationship with your superior or advisor if it's appropriate. Being able to ask my advisor almost anything about the healthcare field has definitely impacted me in a positive way with my career. Overall, my internship has definitely influenced what I want to do with my life. I mean, I didn't know that much about occupational therapy going into this experience, and I am so grateful for this opportunity. I would definitely recommend to send out emails to more than just one place because sometimes you are likely to get rejected, and it's unfortunate, but it's part of the learning experience. And working in a private practice clinic has definitely opened my eyes and made me want to open my own private practice clinic one day. I feel like I got to know more about the therapists and their practice. Overall, I definitely think the process going through Carroll is a good idea. And I'm forever grateful my experience as an intern at Roots Rehab, and the people that I worked with were so helpful. And Charlotte Banks, the main therapist,